Welcome back to the show. As I said earlier, planning permission has been granted for the construction of a new mosque in Kilkenny City. It attracted more than 1,000 signatures in opposition to the development when it was first proposed, but Kilkenny County Council has now given the go-ahead to the trustees of the Kilkenny Islamic Centre for the two-storey religious and cultural centre at the Hebron Industrial Estate. It's on the edge of the city. It's expected to cost around €3 million to build. And joining me now in studio this morning is retired Archbishop John Neal. A very good morning to you,
good
John.
Morning,
how are you?
Ema.
I'm going from bishop to retired archbishop now this morning.
Never worry.
I have all denominations on the show this morning. It's lovely of you to join us. You were at the open day for the mosque.
I was, yes. It was a lovely sunny day. Remember when we had a summer? Yes, it was a lovely day.
Feels like a long time ago now.
And it was great to see good representation from the community there and to see the sort of welcome that was being given to the Islamic community.
What reaction would you have to the decision to allow the mosque development to go ahead?
Well, I'm very glad. I mean, the planning issues are something beyond me, but the actual permission to me is very important, because as somebody who's over the years been concerned with interfaith as well as inter-church activities, I'm very conscious that we must give room to people of faith to express their faith and welcome them into our community. There are people in Kilkenny of all shades of religion and of no religion, and it's very important that this reflects the diversity of Irish society. And though the Christian churches predominate, of course, in Kilkenny for all sorts of reasons, historic reasons, it does not mean that we cannot be open to and welcome people of faith from other traditions.
OK. Is there a certain amount of fear out there of the unknown, maybe, because many local people that live in the area, they haven't experienced, living beside a mosque before?
Yes, I think we've lived for so long in a very monochrome society, and even in Dublin there are many mosques now, and we were used to seeing people going around in Islamic dress all the time and Oriental dress, and we were used to mosques. But it's something new for Kilkenny, and it's something to which people have to adjust. But nonetheless, I'm glad to see this welcome being extended to them. Many people, many Islamic people in our community here in Kilkenny who make a very real contribution, not least in the world of medicine.
We have doctors in St. Luke's.
I don't know what we do without doctors and nurses. It's very important that we not only take avail of their services, but that we also make them feel welcome and let them be at home here. And people of faith find it very hard to be at home in a community in which they are not allowed have a very clear place of worship. I know that Christian people feel that in other countries, but just because it isn't always accorded to Christian people, I think we as Christian people must do something to show that we are welcoming.
OK. Now, most of the objections to the mosque were based on planning issues, which you alluded to there, traffic, and people may be feeling a little bit disenfranchised, like they've been hemmed in at the back of the industrial estate there, the residents of Bishop Birch, and they don't want another development on top of them. They already deal with busy traffic on match days, and they feel this is a step too far for them.
What would you kind of
say to them
for all sorts
today?
of reasons. I mean, people objected to Croke Park being developed in Dublin. People object to industrial development. People, even a new swimming pool put there in that corner of the estate could cause a problem. Yes, I agree that there may be planning issues. They must be resolved by the normal channels. But I don't think that any idea that the Islamic community is not welcome in Kilkenny should be abroad.
Right, your interactions with them here in Kilkenny, John, when you met the Imam and when you met members of the Muslim community, what did they say to you? Were they grateful that you showed support?
Yes, they were very grateful indeed. And over the years, I remember once chairing an interfaith consultation in Oslo and meeting many members of the Islamic community there and finding the sort of relationships that were developing. And they were even having to deal with the issues that arose out of conversions either way. And that's something that happens in interfaith discussion as well. But if the Islamic community is not made welcome, it actually can lead to a great deal of radicalisation. It can lead to all sorts of things.
Drives everything maybe underground.
Exactly. And I remember during the war in the former Yugoslavia, I was part of a peace mission and visiting the Islamic community there who were under such pressure in Bosnia. They were saying, we're not a radical community, but with the pressure on us, we're being driven we're open to the radical extremists who are coming in and trying to get us on board. So I think it's very important that we have an open society where people are made welcome and not driven to the fringes.
Okay. You live locally here in Kilkenny?
Yes, living very happily in Kilkenny in retirement, yes.
Very good. And we hear a lot, and kind of when you're on the ground, you hear people say things and use phrases, and meaning well, but saying, when in Rome, do as the Romans do and such. And they feel that maybe, is it a case that that Muslims shouldn't be allowed to have their mosque here? What would you say to people who have that view or say that?
I would say that we live in a global economy, we live in a very open world, and if we build walls around ourselves, in the end, we'll be the losers.
Right, and in terms of education then, when you see little children, and we have our Educate Together schools, we have all faiths in our schools, that's a really key thing as well, I think, just in terms of where we're going as a country and the future.
Yes, I think that our whole educational system is going through a great deal of change at the moment. I think the Roman Catholic Church is facing many issues. Archbishop Martin has been leading on that very much. But the Church of Ireland has its own problems too. And I've certainly seen a number of cases where it is very difficult for, should we say, defence of denominational schooling, and really more open schooling is going to be the next chapter in Irish educational history as I see it.
Okay, it was a pleasure to have you in studio this morning. Thank you very much for dropping into us. We hope retirement is treating you well.
Thank you very much.
You're still busy. You were doing the housework when I contacted you this morning.
That's
flat out all the time.
That's right. That's all part of living in retirement.
And if you don't
learn
mind
new skills.
If you don't mind me saying, because our listeners will identify with this, you're Garda Andy Neal's dad as well.
That's right, yes indeed. A
friend of the show.
One of the reasons we came, or the reason we came to retire in Kilkenny, was the family here and grandchildren.
Lovely. Well, enjoy that, and thank you very much for coming into us. We're going to take some music and then we'll be back. We have tried to reach Eugene McGuinness this morning to offer him a say on the show in relation to his objections to the mosque. We may yet hear from him on the show. 083 306 9696 is our text line. Lots of your texts coming in, 083 306 9696 on the mosque as well. Hi Emer, I don't think the mosque itself is the problem, it's the location they've chosen. I think it's wrong to say everyone's against any mosque being built in Kilkenny. The location is the problem, says one texter. Another says, we'd people objecting to calls to prayer which aren't a part of planning permission sought. These people are from Kappa White and Tipperary and Athy, says the texter. And somebody else is saying they welcome the mosque in Kilkenny. They look forward to visiting it. We share a constituency. I've a number of Muslim acquaintances. I'd welcome a mosque in Carlow too, says David O'Leary. And Pat was on to us as well and says, Emer, nothing against Islam, but can you be sure? You can be sure, says Pat, apologies, that the council won't refuse money, same as always, and so many out there looking for a home. Great little country. Well, the Islamic community are funding their own development, Pat, so I don't think Kilkenny County Council is funding it for them, and that's a fact. We have to go to our ad break and then we'll be back